dad should have to go through this, and no mom should have to go through this. And we're just so grateful for Ed and Karen and everyone to speak out and try our best under challenging circumstances. Let me introduce our next speaker. Sandy Freeze has come a long way. She came from Indiana to be with us. Website, author, SC Freeze, right? Okay. Sandy's an accomplished author, and this story about Dawn has always troubled her greatly. And she's a longtime advocate for social justice, and she decided to make a big commitment. She said, I'm gonna try my best to tell Dawn's story. And so she's got a book coming out called Eyes Opened, the story of Dawn Marie Pasella. And I want you guys to welcome Sandy Freeze. Let's hear what she has to say. And we appreciate her support and her being here. Sandy Freeze, everybody.
It's chilly. We're getting sprinkled on, but we're here. Thank you all for being here. On the 25th of June. Oh, can you hear me okay? Okay. On the 25th of June, 1985, Karen and Ed Pasella welcomed their third daughter, Dawn Marie, into this world. Dawn was a very inquisitive child who seemed to have a mind of her own. Karen had shared with me a story about Dawn. Karen worked tirelessly to potty train Dawn. And Dawn just had no interest whatsoever. But when she found out that a pair of My Little Pony underwear waited for her when she had been potty trained, she quickly sped up the process and she potty trained herself in no time. As she grew, Dawn developed a great many interests. She was the pitcher for her softball team. She played piano, sang in the church choir, and volunteered to work with a sports team that consisted of children who dealt with physical disabilities. As an adult, Dawn could be seen. It wasn't surprising to see her passing out flowers as she welcomed strangers and met them and told them to have a good day. Dawn had good friends. Dawn had a close-knit family. And Dawn was well respected by her peers. With a higher education under her belt, Dawn accepted a position with the same mortgage fraud task force that prosecuted Tony Viola and many others. In time, she would turn evidence over to Tony Viola that could help him to become exonerated. On April 25th, 2012, the lifeless body of Dawn Marie Pasella was found in her apartment. Her father, Ed, stood on the door outside the apartment and was refused entrance. Her parents were not granted the ability to identify their daughter. There are so many questions regarding Dawn's death, and Karen and Ed they deserve closure. They have mourned for so long. I am asking you, we are asking you, if you know anything, if you would like to offer to help, please do so. There are two websites, as Tony mentioned earlier, justicefordon.com and freetonyviola.com. Please check those out. There's contact information there. You can get in contact. if you have any questions after, please hang around and ask them. And as Tony invited you earlier, be a San Antonio's after this is over with. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, Rob McCoy wants to say a few words. Rob was also prosecuted by these same characters, went to the prosecutors, told them the truth, don't want to hear it, doesn't fit the theory. So Rob, want to come up and say a few things? We're saving the best for last. That's Karen, but Rob's going to say a few words first.
Hi, everybody. You like my shirt? That's special.
Hi, I'm Rob McCoy, and I was prosecuted by Mark Stewart Bennett. Like Tony said, I had a 30-year spotless financial career and never was in trouble in my life, and that just disappeared overnight. First time you read your name in the paper and you hear all awful kind of things about you, I was always a very private person. But when I saw my name in that paper from that day forward, I became a very unprivate person. Mark Bennett is a sexual predator, and we went a couple months ago to a rally. We had a rally in Columbus because he was having his hearing in front of the Ohio Supreme Court. So we're very serious. And Mark Bennett has a lot of groupies now, doesn't he? Huh? He got a lot of groupies. Now his main accomplice was Kim Kepling. That was his first lieutenant, who, by the way, is currently a realtor now. And she put a lot of realtors in jail. And I'm looking at one right now, okay? And she's out there hustling houses in her blissful government retirement. The others are Kelly Fatula and the rest. And this is their name. It's the Murdering Mortgage Task Force. That's the only name that I can call it. And Dawn said that they were the biggest, most corrupt thing our government could ever dream up of. Now, Tony and I met 2 years. It's funny. I think at Providence's request that we had met, and him and I have worked so